I'm in Westcourt near Callan today in County Kilkenny, and this is the birthplace of Edmund Royce, the founder of the Christian Brothers. And I don't want to talk about them, but I will talk about how to map roof material thatch in this video. I hope you enjoy this and learn a little bit along the way. So if you want to map that a building has a thatched roof, all you need to do is add the key or the key value combination roof : material equals thatch. And that's what you do. And ideally you have seen the house, you know the house or the building. It could just be a shed, and you know that it has a thatched roof. And then ideally you take a picture and upload it to Wikimedia like I did with this one here. And you could also ideally take Mapillary, which I failed to do of this one. At least I don't have a frontal view. I just I walked from Callan out this road and just walked around the property to get a bit of an idea for people and to help other mappers. So this is the best shot I've found in this sequence. I'll just maximize it here. So you can still see that it's thatched. But first of all, we're going to go and add the information to this house here. It's the, as it says at the top of it there, the Edmund Royce Heritage Centre. And I'll open it here. So I've mapped loads there, as you can see, and I'll just go in and into edit and highlight this building. I'm just going to show you, you see the color is already a bit different to the slated roofs. I can disable the OpenStreetMap data to give you the plain view in the satellite imagery. And this is Esri. This is the best we have at the moment. Inland, it's not great, but wait till you see any of the other ones. So for example, Bing, it's actually a little bit better, or better than I expected. But you can also see, you might be able to see after a while that it is thatched. Let's look at Mapbox, which is probably the same as Bing. It is. Or Esri World. It's not great. Anyway, so I stick to Esri because it's good enough. And enable the OpenStreetMap data again so I know what to highlight. So I click on this one here and it has two tags so far, building house and no house number, yes, because it doesn't have a house number. And as I said, all I have to add is roof material thatch. And what I would also like you to do if you go and map thatched buildings is to add the building height or the building levels. So this one only has one level. There might be an attic there because it's supposedly a 6-room building. I don't know how they fit 6 rooms in there, but I can't see any windows in the roof, so I have to presume that it's only one building level, and you just add that up here. Because it is interesting, I think, to see how many of them actually only have one building level, so your ordinary thatched cottage, and some of them have 2. It might have an NIAH number. It probably does. Which I would also like to add. I presume it's Westcourt North. There, that should be it. Yeah. So if you click on the blue dots, they all have blue dots. I haven't come across one that is older than 1700s. And just copy this number here. And then you can add that as ref:IE:NIAH. So we know it is a heritage building for certain. I want to add this file here as well. So Wikimedia Commons, and add that file number. Oops, that's file name. And hopefully I did that right. And then I can upload. And as usual, that doesn't do anything to what it looks like. So here we have a map that I created using Overpass Turbo, and I looked for roof material equals thatch, and then I have added to some of them where I had found it out was roof material thatch. And the reverse, because I think that is important. I'll talk about that in a second. And then I'm only looking in County Kilkenny, or I marked where County Kilkenny is because that is the focus of my study, if you want to call it that. And I thought when I added all these thatched cottages or thatched buildings that they seem to concentrate around rivers, and this map kind of shows that as well. It could just be because people need a water source, but maybe it's also because the water weeds need water to grow, and that was the material for a lot of them. So they're down in South Kilkenny, there are a lot of them, a lot of thatched buildings, and then around Callan there are quite a few. Funnily enough, there don't seem to be a lot along the river, nor this one here. I think it's fairly newly thatched, I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to meet the owner who also thatched it soon, and I'll talk to him. This one I want to show you in detail because I have most data on that one, and that's kind of the depth of data I want to get for all of them. Probably won't succeed in that. There don't seem to be any along the River Barrow. On the Kilkenny side, that might be because it had been interfered with by humans, same as the Nore, for navigation, and they had to make towpaths and whatever, and they had to put soil on the banks to make it easier to create towpaths. So maybe the water weeds just didn't grow there as much, or maybe they didn't flood as much, and maybe water weed needs flooding rivers. I don't know. That's just some ideas I've had. There also don't seem to be any along the Blackwater and this one here, which I've forgotten what it's called. You can't see that when I don't zoom in, but the ones that was roof material thatch, I had a little different background. So this one here, for example, is now a ruin, so the background isn't brown. I don't know if you can see that. So if you zoom in, they're not dots anymore. They show the actual outline of the building, and sometimes it's just a building part. I'm trying to remember one. This one here. So this part is thatched and this part of the building isn't. And I'll do another video about how to map that. So this one is on the Bennett's Bridge Road in the townland of Warrington. And I got in contact with the owners because I have a friend who happens to be friends with them, and I asked her to get me their contact details. So I'll blow this up on the screen so you can see it better. So it's in alphabetical order, so it's not logical or anything. I have the address in Townland, Warrington. It's not really a city, but that's how this works on OSM. You don't have address Townland. And then the house name is Thatched Cottage. They had that in their email signature. It's a house. It has one building level, and then it has been in the family for about 300 years, I think they said. And it was thatched until 1940. It was built in 1749, so I put that down here. Roof material, and then colon, and then the dates, which you can do. It's more so used on Open Historical Maps, openhistoricalmap.org, but I just used it here as well. So from 1749 to 1940, it was thatched. Then they put a galvanized roof on it. I have that here in the description as a text as well. So 1941 to 1997 it was galvanized, and then since then it has been thatched. So I put that down as thatch : start date equals 1989. So we have a whole timeline of when it was thatched and when it wasn't thatched. And the thatched material, according to them, is water weed. And the only thing I don't have of that one, which I will get, and then it's going to be the perfect example, hopefully, is a Wikimedia image. But I'm going to have to cycle out there and take a picture at some point. I found it on Mapillary, so I've added the Mapillary link here. If I click on that, I'll show you. So this is the picture taken by Multinel in 2018, I think that says, down in the bottom corner. And it's here on the side. So you can see it from the road. And yeah, so that's the best picture we have of it. I don't know if I go back, if that does anything. Yeah, it's not, it's a good enough picture. You can recognize it as a thatched building. And I'll make another video and show you how I made this map, or where I got the data from. If you are interested to learn more about thatched buildings in Ireland, I will add a video link in the end, the little preview thingy that comes up in the end. And that's material I found on YouTube from RTE, I think, from this program called Hands. It's about thatching in County Wexford, where, of course, it was very prominent. And then I will put a link in the description of a podcast that a friend sent me, which I found very interesting. It's about a thatched building survey in County Westmeath. And it has a lot of very important, very interesting links on their website where you find the podcast with about applying for grants and all kinds of things. So I that was a very, very good link list I found. So that's why I'm going to link that in the video description. I hope you found that interesting. And I would ask you to add more thatched buildings in your area if you know of them, or if you go on holidays, I don't know, somewhere where they have them in England or so, also add them there. And thank you for watching, and I shall see you in the next one. Slán!